Hello there, and welcome to the Kirk Minahan wrap-up show for January 4th, 2021. This is the first wrap-up show following the first Kirk Minahan show of the new year. So I'd like to welcome everyone and wish everyone a very, very happy new year. Today's show was January 4th, 2021. Dr. Blind Mike, as we find out that Mike is taking graduate classes at Blind School, which I think was the title was bearing the lead a little bit. I think that was kind of like a throwaway line from early in the show, and I think one of the major points could have been either Warthog, is now a stock boy at your local Shaw's, or the fact that that Mike wants people to not subscribe to his new business venture.
Best sales guy in the business.
Best another great one. But I am joined by, as always, on Mondays, Madawaska Rob. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, it's a pleasure, as always.
So first show of the year. It is also the first show of the new schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that means no show tomorrow, no show on Tuesday. So there will be a little bit lack of content. I'm currently trying to work. I know that the gang, Kirk and Steve, are headed up to upstate New York, they called it, to work on the secret project. So there will be no sort of Robinson report or something secondary that I was possibly thinking I could try to maybe do, but perhaps for a future week. So let's just jump right into it. So Blind Mike's back. He's back, baby. He's back with his once a week. It's confirmed. Mondays are his day. And how'd you like the show? I loved the show today. I thought it sounded like classic Kirk Minahan show. They didn't touch on politics. I love how Kirk came in and said, "I'm not talking about politics. I don't give a fuck about this Donald Trump phone call or whatever." I don't even know what was going on. Apparently there was some Richard
audio.
Nixon phone calls.
Someone taped audio of him looking for votes in Georgia. So, I mean, who cares? It's over. He's done. I mean, it's like Kirk said, he's over. It's done. Time to move on.
Who gives a fuck? I love it that Kirk just came out and just straight up said, "I don't give a fuck about it. I don't want to talk."
As Steve silently wept in the background.
Yes, I think because what Kirk said, that he was getting texts from Steve about all this Trump nonsense.
Yeah,
and he just straight up said, "Listen, I don't want to deal with this." So.
I thought I was with you, Justin. I thought it was a great show. I always like to hear Mike. That's why if I'm doing this wrap up every Monday, then it's going to be a lot of positive reviews coming down with the wrap up show, because from the first minute that he was on, I was already laughing. Like when Kirk said, "Oh, I saw a man and he asked me where I can find," and then Mike said, "Okay, go on with your bit." Like, what did this man say? Like, I just started dying right away. I'm like, here we go, off and running. I love it.
I like it. I think having Mike on once a week, he'll have a little bit more confidence to kind of snap back at Kirk like that. Okay, do your little bit. Something that you wouldn't see necessarily if Mike was in every day and the show was 5 days a week. Like, I think Mike get like a jab in once or twice there. Not trying to say that he's now on the level that I know some people said they liked the Kirk and Callahan show because Jerry was more of Kirk's equal. I'm not saying that that Mike is Kirk's equal at all. I mean, that's just not fact. But I think Mike will have a little bit more confidence coming in there once a week, where if he disagrees with Kirk on something, he might go after him a little bit more on something like that. So I think that's something that
he sounded good today. He sounded confident. That's good. Confident Mike is a good Mike. So
yeah, he sounded confident in everything besides the one thing that he said he was going to go on the show for, which was to promote his new. That's how he's getting paid to be on the Kirk Minahan show. He's getting paid. He can promote away on his new Patreon. And it sounded to me like Kirk was more excited for Mike's Patreon than Mike was excited for Mike's Patreon. I have a clip here at the end where Kirk said, "I'll promote away, do your Patreon." Here it is.
That's Mike Geary. You go to patreon.com/blindmike, correct?
Correct.
And you know what, Mike? Tell the listeners what they get for that experience.
Don't worry about it.
Why?
I got too many people there already. Up to my eyeballs and patrons.
He's just imitating your shtick. Telling people not to
No,
subscribe.
I'm being genuine.
Well, $5 a month gets you what? With the pleasure of what?
Extra content, bonus content, weekly show, some of the weekly content.
Right.
And then $10 gets you all of it.
All of it. So I get all of it.
Correct.
Okay. Every day I get something? No?
There'll probably be days.
When
where
are we doing these like chats and chances to hang out with you and all that stuff? Video stuff?
Probably a little later in the month.
So as you can hear there, Kirk goes, okay, here's your shot. Tell people what you're going to get with the Blind Mike Project Patreon. And Mike just goes, forget about it.
I know. Like, I don't understand. He didn't have that ready to go. Like, he should have them like written down or something, maybe.
I understand. I understand where he's coming from, where he doesn't want to deal with the bullshit of the people saying, "Oh, this fucking sucks." But it's like this is your chance to just be like, hey, subscribe. And if you don't like it, first of all, if you subscribe today, this was a point that he should have mentioned on the show. If you subscribe today, pretty much all of January is a free trial. You get charged the first of every month. So if you subscribe today and you don't like it by January 28th, cancel it. You won't get charged a thing. And if you do, Mike said reach out to him, and like he should have been saying things like that. Otherwise, not just saying don't check it out. It's whatever, because there's so much more he put up on the Patreon that isn't, because he has the free podcast that came out today, and then he has like 5 videos on his Patreon. So he was really doing himself a disservice there. Yeah. So, and
I thought the videos. I mean, I watched all the videos, and excellent editing job. I wasn't expecting that type of.
Craig's
it looked
dope.
good. Right. I wasn't expecting that. And originally when I had just put it on, when I was outside taking the lights off of the Christmas lights, I thought I was just going to listen to it. And then I actually looked at my phone and said, holy shit, I got to actually watch this. And I did. And it's just a bad job promoting by him. I mean, he's not Kirk. He doesn't make a salary from Barstool. Like, the only money he's going to make is when people subscribe to him. So you can't tell people don't subscribe. He should want, he said there's about 100. I'm one of those 100. He should want 500, because I mean, it's some more money he's going to make. If he keeps telling people not to subscribe, then by month 6, he's going to be out on his ass, and Alba's going to be supporting him. So I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, you see, that's the thing. It's just like I understand where he's coming from, where he doesn't want the people to bitch and say, "Oh, this sucks."
It comes with it, though. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, people bitch
are going to do it, and then also on Patreon, you can just unsubscribe, or you can just kick people off if people are bitching.
Right.
So I get where he's coming from, but hopefully in the future he does take a little bit more pride in his work and he promotes it a little bit more. I don't know if you listened to his podcast today. But
I haven't got the one today yet. I've listened to everything.
It was. I don't want to say depressing, but it was just it wasn't the fun, happy Mike. He was kind of going over the past 3 months. He did go after Portnoy a little bit, which I liked. I thought that was good to kind of get some of some, not necessarily of beef going, but to.
It's good to go. It's good to go after the most popular guy in the United States right now. It's probably good.
I wouldn't say that. Who else is talking about Dave Portnoy right now other than
it's crazy.
Tucker Carlson and all this other stuff. I mean, CNN won't touch it. But yeah, let's so anything to say about Mike's Patreon or
I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised by the stuff that he had put out originally, and I mean, let's be honest. Like the guy called today when he said, I give my $5 donation every month, and Kirk kind of laughed and said, "Did the guy just said donation?" And I was like, "Yeah, he definitely said donation." That's how I feel. I mean, like, I don't give a shit. I'll just for Mike to be there and to hear him and I hope he's happy. I don't give him $10 a month. Think about the shit that you spend $10 a month on. I mean, fucking cares. Buy a couple less subs. Something.
Yeah. So there was that. There was also, I want to get onto later on, I want to get more into the Barstool Fund and how, everything that's been going on with that, with the shitheads who don't understand how charity works. I want to touch a little bit that, but I know there was a point you wanted to bring up in regards to Mr. Robinson today.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, definitely. At that.
So, you want to play
the clip?
Yeah. Steve, in his practice round for the trivia,
my God, that was bad.
Disappointment in the history of the world.
Did you hear this?
I didn't care for this. I would have been crucified.
Destroyed. Somebody tweeted, I acknowledge that. I was
Steve presents himself as like this intellectual. He's a pseudo-intellectual at best. He didn't know shit.
What have I ever presented myself as an intellectual? What have I ever claimed to be a Ronald Reagan voice?
Just your existence. By the way, no, that's supposed to be this week. I've heard. Hey, that was Steve's abortion, not mine. I've heard nothing from Jeff D. Lowe about this. It's supposed to be this week.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
You scared of you?
Pussy.
Okay, so let's get that right on the table. Did Steve utter the words, "I've never presented myself as an intellectual"? I almost drove off the damn road when I was driving. He presents himself as an intellectual every damn show. He talks down to people every show because you would think that he's more intelligent than all of us. And like Visionless Dave pointed out on Twitter very, very eloquently, I am not as successful in this industry as Steve, obviously. He has a more successful career in this industry. So let's just keep that at in this industry to everything. Because when it comes to other things, Steve has just kind of outed himself as a fraud and he doesn't know shit. He's like a one-trick pony. It's awesome. I mean, and let me say this. I thought Steve was fantastic today in the show. I really did, because when he has Mike, those three together, I mean, that's what we're all used to. So we love it. And when Steve doesn't have to be that second voice on the show, it's where he shines, especially speaking wise.
I agree with that.
Producer wise, he's fantastic. I mean, we all know he's a great producer, and sales wise, whatever he does behind the scenes, I'm sure it's all fantastic.
You think he's telling the advertising people, I wouldn't come aboard. Maybe see if you like the show first.
Yeah, he's definitely probably not doing that. I would say no, not doing that. But like I said, as a third voice, he's fantastic. As a second voice, it makes me want to fucking vomit every fucking time. So
yeah, I don't know if Steve tries to put himself off as an intellectual. I think he likes to put himself off as kind of like a political analyst of some sort,
which he is, which is fine. But
sometimes. But I'm not entirely sure that he comes off. I guess he kind of does have the holier than thou intellectual thoughts sometimes.
I think Kirk agrees with us, seeing that he said your whole existence comes off as that. I mean, that's pretty telling right there. So
there was a part in today's show, I don't have the clip, but Kirk goes, "What are you laughing at?" And Steve just goes, "I'm just laughing at Mike." And I thought it was going to spiral down into one of these. So now Steve's laughing at me because I'm stupid because I don't know the Supreme Court justice things, and you know how those little beefs they would get into where it was kind of but I think that Mike took some time off, so there's not pent up hatred or anger, but there's not pent up work stress.
Right. Yeah. And then I love too. And he's like, "Steve, what else you have besides the Trump thing? Do you have anything else?" And he's like, "No, just no." Just right away.
That was a big story. I mean, they probably would have talked about that if Mike wasn't in.
Exactly, which is why people like the show when it's not Kirk and Steve, because like you just said, they would have talked about it.
Well, people do like the show when it's just Kirk and Steve. I think
it's fuck about that stuff anymore. It's over. It's fucking over.
I think the political, when they do get into the political stuff, it's good to see Kirk call out the hypocrisy and stuff like that. I do think that if they just strictly talked about Steve's talking points that he brings up, yes, then it wouldn't be as great of a show. But in the Trump stuff, there's a whole bunch of sides. I'm sure Kirk would have brought up about how one side is talking about the Trump leaked tapes like they're not a thing, and the other side's bringing them up like it's Vietnam, World War II.
Yeah.
So, I think Steve. He's best when he's in that third seat, when he's back there producing and he's in there for his quick little jabs. And
it felt good today. It just felt good today. It was a nice little 10, 15 second mental beat down of Steve. It was a good way to stop the year.
Yeah, it was it was great. So the next point I want to get to is, I was scrutinized for the best of. I've been told the best of was terrible. I've seen mixed reviews about it on Twitter. So I apologize for anyone who listened to it and did not like it. If you liked it, then tip of my cap to thee. But I thought there was an interesting point today where Kirk said that he got a text from Matt J, the artist formerly known as Drunk Eric Curtis, saying, "Hey, you should have reached out to me and I could have helped out." I thought he left. What is it with people? No, he's not. What is it with people who say they want to leave, say I'm out, they do a goodbye show, "Oh, I'm going to bring back MHB and this is gone. Kirk's too mean now and all these other things. I'm gone." And then 2 months later, he's texting Kirk like, "If you ever needed help with anything, I'm your guy."
Well, I will give DEC this. Last year, that end of, I've said it 1,000 times, was fantastic. I mean, like I listened to it the whole way up to Madawaska. It was fucking.
It was incredible. I still listen to it every day.
Right, it was great. I mean, it was fine. And I thought you did a fine job. I can't imagine how hard it is to pick from all the shows and all the clips and all the interviews and everything. I can't imagine it. I imagine it's pretty hard, but I think. I mean, DEC is a fucking. I mean, he doesn't get the Minahan buzz anymore. So he probably try once you don't have it, you want it back. But I think what people really, I mean, I hate to keep going back to Steve. Well, I don't hate it, but I don't mind. But I mean, he had no oversight. Like people are looking for him to oversight you in helping you do it somehow, and he's kind of hands off on it. I know, but he's so hand off on it. I don't know. It's just, but yeah, DEC, yeah, he says he's going to leave and then he's back and he can't make up his mind. He's got to get some buzz, but I think he just wanted a little Kirky rub. And then Kirk gives it back to him and he just says fair point.
Yeah,
That's it. So he doesn't want to say more.
I think there's a lot of things you can say about Steve, but when people say he's hands off, me and Steve talk all the time. I just don't think that we don't necessarily bring up every day. So this is what we talked about. So people just assume that Steve is hands off and he doesn't talk to me about things, but we talk all the time. Yeah. He talks to Mike and, he does a shit ton for the show. And I can't imagine another producer in there. So before we get to the whole charity debacle and the Barstool Fund, which is absolutely fucking insane, just in every aspect of it. The last thing I want to bring up is I thought the callers were really good today. I think Mike brings the best out of the callers because they have a punching bag where Mike's just going to kind of not necessarily take it, but I think it's kind of like, I didn't listen to Kirk and Callahan, but it's kind of like how the callers would just go after Mutt, how people's favorite all-time calls were like Steve from Providence talking about Mutt's wife getting fucked down in Puerto Rico or wherever she went and all these other things. I think most of the callers just come out when Mike's there. And so I think having Mike on a set Monday, I'm not necessarily they won't take calls on Wednesday or Friday, but I think callers should be prepared for the call show on Monday.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and I think it all comes back to callers and the audience kind of feel a connection with Mike because I don't want to say he's one of us because, he's not one of us because he's in the studio all the time and he has his own thing and he works for EI and he's in that business. But he makes it a point to be more like one of us. He reaches out, you know what I mean? He interacts a lot more than Steve and Kirk do. Not that they don't, but I mean, I just feel like I said, he did.
I think he's taking a step back from that because I mean, that was kind of, I don't want to say drove him out, but I think, putting a lot of effort into getting invested into the world and knowing the ins and outs was kind
and plus callers know they can call and shit on him and Kirk will fucking jump right in.
That's right.
And that brings out the best in Kirk too sometimes. So
that's right. So we talked about the best of Kirk. Now let's talk about not necessarily the worst of Kirk, but the worst of the Minifans when it comes to, I've never seen a show be more charitable, give so much and just have the same people just constantly just shit on and say they're doing it for selfish reasons. They literally helped a child that was unwilling to what was it?
Mancock there?
Yeah, the Mancock child that was, not viable, was not able to live on its own for a couple of weeks. They helped pay for that. They've helped a child who just lost their dad in a Buffalo Wild Wings accident, the Baldera family. I can't even think of all these different. The VFW. How can I forget about that? There's now they're helping out with the Barstool Fund, which I've been going through. Robinson at barstoolsports.com, which make sure you email if you haven't already. If you have, I promise you I have gotten it and I made an Excel sheet with your name and all that. But if you have not emailed your receipt to Robinson at Barstool Sports, there is a lot of money coming in. And when I saw over the break, I saw BA just drunk on John vs. Scranton's show or something talking about, oh, this is so pathetic. Why don't they say, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll match every single donation made. It's who the fuck are you to tell other people how they need to be charitable? That's one of the things that goes up my ass sideways is when people say, oh, well, you gave this. Well, you could have gave so much more. You could have given it this way, or oh, you sold chocolate bars. You should have sold lemonade. It's like they're doing something, and what they're doing is working. People are buying this golden ticket. It's going to be a very, I guess, call it in demand. There's only one of them. people are buying these chances. They're raising a shit ton of money for probably the best cause that they've raised money for yet, helping small businesses. I mean, everyone knows someone who owns a small business, and to see people like I didn't see the Fez clip. I didn't see the Andy Mayo clip, but I saw the BA clip, and that infuriated me. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? If you really think these guys are stealing money, trying to steal money from the Minifans so Kirk can advance his personal agenda against the Boston Globe, which, let's be honest, at this point, it's not Kirk's personal agenda. It's it's the Minifans' agenda. We all hate the Boston Globe as well. I think it will be entertaining as hell to see Kirk, Shirley Leung versus Kirk in an in-studio interview that lasted an hour. And if they raised $50,000 for it, that's great. Like Kirk said on the show, did he think Shirley was going to come in? No, she's a pussy. She knows she would get destroyed. But, talking about it, bringing more promotion to it, more people say, hey, I'm not a huge, I'm a casual listener, but, I really liked what Kirk did against the Boston Globe and against Shirley Leung, against Kevin Cullen. I see he's doing this. Maybe I'll throw in $30. Maybe I'll throw in $10 to this fund. And just to see, these assholes go on there and just pretend like the end all be all. It pisses me off to no extent.
Yeah, I mean, so two things. One is I believe everybody is right, and I've talked to all the guys that involved in all of it, and people bring up a good point. Yes, there are definitely people who did not donate that would not donate unless Kirk got involved. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Minifans wouldn't have donated unless Kirk sent out the thing and says, I'm having a golden ticket and blah, 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 blah. Now, I'll play devil's advocate, which, like I said, I'm not on this side. I'm not, but I like everyone involved. So, and I know personally that they're not assholes and they are doing it to be contrarian, but the people get aggravated when they see, Shirley debate me and I'll put up $50,000 because it's never going to happen. That's the problem. So, and again, I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to say. It's just throwing things out there to throw them out there when it's never going to happen. Like I love Adam in Jersey. He's one of my guys, but like he put up $1,800. That's never going to have to happen because she's never going to come on. Like people going after people who are never going to reciprocate it just to basically do it is, it's not stupid because like I said, I'm not on that side, but I'm just playing the devil's advocate to it. And I think that's what they were trying to say. I don't think they were trying to say that he was stealing money. I don't think they were trying to say that he was, doing it for himself. I think they were just trying to say that there was really no point in bringing other people, trying to drag enemies into it. Because I think that they were going to raise money regardless. But like I said, I don't know. That's just me. They're just trying to rationalize irrationality. So it's hard. So,
Do you live in the Massachusetts area?
Oh yeah. Lowell, Massachusetts.
Have you heard of Jordan's Furniture Store?
Of course.
So you know how every year they have like one of these stupid promotions with the Red Sox where it's like if the Red Sox sweep the World Series, if they pitch a no hitter by the time blah, blah, you get free. If they pitch a perfect game, but from August to September, something with a very, very low possibility of happening. But
there's still gets
people talking, it gets people into the store to buy, and that's what it is. You don't see people, and this is a for-profit business as well. You don't see people going, this is such a low contrast thing. They should just come out and just say, oh, well, actually, instead just we'll just take $100 off every single mattress you buy or something fucking stupid like that.
But the thing is like that could happen. That's the problem. So like you've seen it happen before. Like you've seen a perfect game. You've seen them make the playoffs. You've seen do anything. Shirley Luong is never fucking coming on the show as much as we all would love to see it. It's never going to fucking happen. So you could say $1 million. That's the problem. That's the other thing too, is that the money, once you start getting into like $50,000, $50,000 if Shirley goes on, $100,000 if Shirley goes on, you could say it to you blue in the face, it means nothing. But because there's no chance of it happening. I think that's what they were trying to say. Like I said, I can't rationalize other people's thoughts, but I know deep down inside that, well, I don't really know. I on the surface, I know they're all not assholes. Like I feel like. Yeah,
I will say, you know who got an unfair shake on today's show?
Menace.
Was Menace.
Yeah, definitely.
Menace
I'm here for it though. I'm here for it though.
I wanted to bring that up real quick. Menace was 100%. What I did see on Twitter was he was calling out these people. He was not a part of the people saying the golden ticket idea was stupid.
Right. Yeah, no, I was going to say the same thing. He definitely got a Ricochet shot. And the thing is, too, if you take all the Minifans, however many there are, hundreds of thousands, I don't know how many there are.
I think there's about 17 million.
If you pick the one person that is going to get personally offended and upset about Kirk walking up, it's Menace. That's why it was great. It was fantastic.
I love it, but I just felt he was getting an unfair shake on that. So
I mean, everybody's got their own thoughts. I mean, like I said, I love it. I don't think I've donated yet. If you've got my thing yet, I haven't sent over the receipt yet. I got to send it over to you. But I think it's a great idea. And like Kirk said, whoever gets it is going to be his fucking arch nemesis for 3 years. If it's, I just hope it's someone, I hope it's like Sheldon, because he fucking hates Sheldon so much. Like, I hope it's someone that he just hates, that he has to see for 3 years. It'd be fucking great.
It's funny. I did see a few familiar names, and I was like, oh, it'd be interesting if this person won.
Oh yeah, like Kevin from Bristol. He would want nothing to see in Kevin from Bristol for 3 years.
Well,
right?
I mean, don't they normally go out, to watch the game every Sunday anyway? So I guess they could just, record that. Yeah. But before I hop onto the last point, I just wanted to say, I just disagree with the whole, when people say like he's trying to advance his personal agenda or something like that. I think it's just all to promote this thing. And
right. And I agree with that too, because like, I mean, he knows she's not coming on either. I mean, he's just anything. And then you just take it with like anything that he can do to raise more money for the fund. Fucking do it. Why wouldn't you do it? You know what I mean? It's like anything you can do, anything at all. So I mean, if he whatever he wants to do, it's his prerogative, and it's going towards a good cause. So I
mean, you look at all the shit that he put up there, and he pretty much put up an entire extra week, let's just say week's worth of stuff, an extra 40 hours worth of shit, in regards to and who knows where this person's going to live, and they get the live show. Who knows how far he's going to travel. And all this stuff, and all this money is being raised for a great cause, and I guess maybe if he was doing it for profit, people could just, when it comes to this charity stuff, people should just
especially this one, because he's not. I mean, they're not even touching the money. That's the thing. Like, it's not going towards the KMS show at all. It's just going right to the Barstool Fund. So
yeah. So the last part I wanted to bring up was quickly on today's show. It was like a 2-minute segment. They were talking about how the winner of the golden ticket will be able to hear Kirk and Callahan together again for an hour or two in a segment. And then there was a little debate. Steve wanted to release it to the public. Kirk kind of thought it would be kind of like a one-off thing. What are your thoughts on this? Do you want it to be something that is released on YouTube or perhaps...
I mean, me personally, yes, because if I don't win the ticket, I want to see it. But I mean, why not? If I think Kirk might be right. Just keep it to that one person. It makes that golden ticket even more valuable, and it'll just be audio that is never heard. And it's just, I don't know. I like stuff like that.
I kind of like that idea too. I mean, make it a real golden ticket. Like Willy Wonka wasn't offering, tours of the chocolate factory a week after, a week after he gave out the golden tickets. But that's kind of what caused all the buzz to bring it back to the golden ticket analogy and shit like that. No, I think it'd be interesting, if it's not released, if it's just kind of a, kind of a hidden, a tucked away thing.
God knows, because here's the thing: if they say, they're not going to release it, then I would love. Then they're probably going to get even more in depth, and God knows what. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to just be the fly. I always said I would love to be the fly on the wall during Kirk and Callahan's last days together. Yeah. You are literally paying for a ticket to be the fly on the fucking wall. Yeah, so it's just like awesome.
It's kind of like that Wu-Tang album that Martin Shkreli guy bought for $3 million, and only he knows what it sounds like.
It's a perfect example, because who's going to have the audio? Steve, and Steve is like a douchebag and like cunty like that guy Shrekel. So it's like a perfect analogy. You came full circle there, buddy. Nice job. I like that.
I wouldn't call Steve a Martin Shkreli or Shrekel, whatever his name is, but it's definitely a comparison that some would make. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it'd be interesting if the people what are people going to want, video footage of Ryan Whitney and Kirk and Tom from Michigan playing golf or something like that?
I might do it. Yeah, that's the one. The golf round is the one that got me the most excited. I mean, I'd love to fucking play golf with Kirk for a round.
It's funny. So I'm in a group on Facebook with I like to call it my communist hockey group. There's it's a hockey group, but there's a bunch of communists in it. And let's just say they're not huge fans of Barstool, but a lot of them are big fans of Ryan Whitney and Spit and Chicklets. So I posted, I was like, hey, so this podcast I work for, where they're doing this raffle to help small businesses. And I posted the thing, and I posted the picture where it said everything. And then I forgot at the bottom, it said phone calls with Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump Jr. And everyone was like, everyone was just like, oh yeah, I'm out on this. I'm not supporting anything that. And I was like, okay.
I mean, but like, so if you're coming from their point of view, why wouldn't you want to fucking jump on a call with fucking Tucker Carlson? If you
that was my point.
If you have the opposite point of view, just scream at him for a half hour, right?
Maybe,
you scream at the two of them. Like, who cares?
Like maybe you could tell Donald Trump Jr. to fuck off if you wanted to.
Maybe Donald Trump Jr. to have a girlfriend.
It's
have
not
a girlfriend
to like
a
Trump campaign. It's going to a small business fund that is going on.
And then, hey, before we leave too, I would have to say one of the points they talked about today on the show, Hilaria Baldwin. She is a fucking rocket. She's a smoke show. She's always been one of my favorites, and not to denigrate any women out there, because the pregnancy procedure is, awful to go through. I assume I don't know, but she is the only pregnant woman that has ever done it for me. I mean, have you ever seen like her yoga videos on Instagram?
What?
Have you ever seen her yoga videos on Instagram?
I've never heard of this person before in my entire life.
Jump on her Instagram and you will be rubbing one out in about 10 minutes. I don't even know. I think she's probably in her mid-30s. I think she's like
too old.
No, she's not.
Too old for me.
The things that she does on her feet, they're it's.
See, I don't like feet. But
no, I'm saying like on her feet, like standing up. Like she'll fuck you 10 ways sideways, just standing straight up. She's gonna figure out how to do it. It's fucking nuts. Trust me.
No,
do it.
Well,
do it.
Okay, I'll make sure.
That's my tip of the day. Take a look at her Instagram.
Put that on my butt. But yeah, so no show until Wednesday. Kirk and Steve will be in upstate New York for the secret project. Maybe they'll be in danger, maybe they won't. Ooh, let's see. Any predictions coming up for the next couple of days? I wanted to know. They didn't mention on today's show, but I would like to know: are they driving up separately or in the same car?
I mean, you got to be the same car. It's only, upstate New York is 5 hours. So, I mean, it's not that big of a drive. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Kirk, I don't know. He probably wants to drive by himself. But yeah, I was so happy today when they said Mike was going to be in every Monday. I mean, that was a big announcement. That was like a big thing, right? I mean, fuck. And then they get Carabas one day a week, and then get another person in, and they just keep coming, rotating.
Yeah, because I think they said on today's show that Whitney's taking February and March off for something. So We'll see who exactly.
Get some other people on there.
Or I don't know. I like the Steve and Kirk shows. I know you might not be a huge fan, but I think they get.
I mean, I'm a fan of every Kirk show, so I mean, he can make it work. He'll make it fun. He'll make it work. Whatever.
That's right. So, anything else you want to hit on before we wrap up here?
That's it. Me and Tim supposedly have our show starting Saturday night, so we'll see. It's awesome. It's coming together slowly, but just like everything else in life. But
well, thank you everyone for joining me here on the Kirk and Mahan wrap-up show, and I will talk to you on Wednesday.